Welcome folks, I'm Jaby Koay, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Cloverfield Paradox, the film that just dropped on Netflix. This is going to be a super short review, and it's going to be super spoiler-free. In fact, it's so spoiler-free that outside of reading you the one-liner from IMDb in a few moments, there will be no plot details given by me. This is the one-liner from IMDb. After a scientific experiment aboard the space station involving a particle accelerator has unexpected results, the astronauts find themselves isolated. Following their horrible discovery, the space station crew must fight for survival. I want to start off with talking about just how interesting this experiment was by Netflix. Never in my life have I seen something like this. As far as I know, the teaser trailer that dropped today with all the Super Bowl ads was the announcement trailer. Never have I experienced this thing where an announcement trailer happens and then immediately I can start watching that movie from my couch for free, essentially. I mean, I'm already paying for Netflix, so I didn't have to pay anything extra. I didn't have to go out to the movies. I didn't have to go pick it up from the video store. Like, I just watch it from my couch. Like, that kind of immediacy I've never experienced in my life before. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but that's certainly an interesting thing. So let's jump into this. If you want to know whether or not you should watch the movie, and that's all you're curious about, I'm going to answer that for you right now in a few different ways. The first way is the score. My personal score for this movie is a 6 out of 10. That being said, IMDb's consensus score is 9.1 out of 10 from 275 votes. I don't know if those votes were all from people who watched the movie or were people who were just enthusiastic about it or a combination of the two, whatever. But my score is 6 out of 10 and IMDb's score is 9.1 out of 10. So, the median of the two, I guess, is like a 7.5, if that makes you want to watch it. Going off the other two movies, going on the merits of that, because it is called the Cloverfield Paradox. This film, for me, does not feel like it belongs in the same family of movies. It feels like the name was used to get your attention and get you to watch it. If this was released in theaters, it would feel like a cash grab using that name. Because while 10 Cloverfield Lane is a different movie from Cloverfield, like very different in terms of the style, it still feels like it belongs in the same family of movies. Like, it still feels like sister movies. Whereas this feels like a completely different thing. It should not have been called the Cloverfield anything. It should have just been called the Paradox, or the original name, which is the God Particle, according to IMDb. If you were big fans of the previous Cloverfield films, I don't know that you will appreciate this one quite so much. If you don't have a Netflix account, I would not say that this is the film, this is the reason to go get a Netflix account. If you already have one, however, I would say at least watch the first 20 minutes and see how you feel. If those first 20 minutes aren't working for you, I would not say that you necessarily need to finish the movie. I'm glad I watched the whole thing because Chris O'Dowd is in this movie and he does a fantastic job. He brings levity to this movie that is very welcomed and very appreciated and very unexpected. I thought he did a great job. In fact, the whole cast of actors did a great job. I think that the acting is the best part of the movie. The story was, whatever. Visual effects was good. The visual effects was used sparingly. It was mostly good set design. The visual effects was really top notch. The story was just, it didn't move me that much. And I think the reason why this movie bothered me more than anything else is because it's called Cloverfield. Because they use that name, I was expecting something different. I didn't realize the whole thing was taking place in space. I thought the space thing was just an aspect of the movie. I didn't realize it was the whole movie. And so that kind of bummed me out a little bit, I guess. There's a subplot to the film that takes place on Earth, and I think that subplot would have been more interesting as the main plot. Maybe that would have been too expensive, who knows. Overall, I have no regrets about watching the movie. Again, the acting is great, and it's definitely an interesting story. I just don't like that it was called Cloverfield. I think that's my main gripe with it, and because of that, it lowered the score significantly for me because it just didn't feel like a Cloverfield movie. It was alright. It was an alright movie, and it is worth watching, but I didn't love it.